Tutorials by Andrew Buckle. This tutorial I'm going to show you how you can quickly use the divide objects below with type. Now unfortunately it's expanded type, but you can use it with, say, this sort of object here. Now it doesn't have to be just that, of course it could be any other objects as well, but first thing to do, just create some type, and I'm just going to go some text. Okay. Now there is a slight problem with this. I'm going to make that red so you can actually see it, make it a bit clearer. Is that unfortunately there, if I use this, actually I'm just going to quickly obviously expand this at this point before I go any further. But this is a problem, this is a problem, and there's also other problems as well in terms of gaps. So it won't work just purely because S is separated from the O. So what I'm going to do, just going to ungroup it. Say object ungroup, and then I can just drag that across. It's not going to be exact, but I'm just going to go there, and you of course could resize at this point. Sometimes actually the one good old, I'm just going to put it over here, the touch type tool might be useful to actually go before you actually do this, but I'm just going to continue on with this now. Just drag that there, put some text, and right. Now, at this point, it's getting close to what I want, but it still looks like some text. Not perfect, but anyway. So now I've actually united all that. Again, if I try that, I'm just going to Control C, and then put that there, and then I'll do the object and path and divide. Now, I've actually got a shortcut, so I'll do that later, but basically divide objects below. If I do that now, it comes up with an error message. So, obviously, that just isn't good enough. So what I need to do now, and probably the easiest, quickest way, is the live paint bucket tool. And just going to quickly go over there and just fill the gaps in. So there's a gap there, there's some gaps there, there's a gap there, there's a gap there, another gap there, and there's a gap there as well. Now, that might be a gap there. No, right. Now I've done that, I can quickly expand that, and again go back down to the Pathfinder, and it still sort of looks like some text, not perfect. And Control C, so I'm actually putting that into the clipboard, pasteboard, and Control V on top of there, and then now it works. So you've actually got the type included in there, and again you can just add that multiple times, resize it, change the angle, Control U, maybe make it smaller, just go very tiny there, Control U, Control V, and so on and so on. You just apply it over and over again, and also on top of the actual other ones as well, Control V, and Control U again. So now what you can do, if you want to, you can just select that, and you've got the parts, or you can of course just quickly chop out, or just use it to remove. So you can actually remove that. Now you've got the transparency there, select there, and the T, and so on and so on. And also of course get scripts or whatever to recolour the design, select that part, and so on and so on. Okay, there it is, just a quick way of using type and the divide objects below command to create some interesting sort of designs that of course can be used in Illustrator throughout. Also maybe copying it over to Photoshop and using it there as well. Hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.